In this lesson, we're going to finish off with WrapTucks health system. Now this is going to be a lot of fun because right now we have this variable all set up in our player state script here. Now we're going to go to the next step and we're going to make it so every time this axe hits our character in danger mode, it's going to subtract 1 from this. And then we also want to set up deeper into our health system where we say, when our player health gets down to 1, please set our is critical to true. And then when our health goes down to 0, make sure our character is dead, and then that'll check it off and restart our game. So first off, what do we need to do? We need to define this axe as an enemy. So when I click this, I created a tag here and just said enemy. And of course, if you don't have that tag created yet, all you do is go add tag and type in enemy in here, and you'll have your tag created nicely. So let's go back here, and now that we know that this axe is our character's enemy, you could also apply this enemy tag to any object in the game. And if you had like a whole army of enemies that would randomly pop up, you can just always have that tag enemy. So anytime any character in your game walked into him, he'd lose some health. So we need to create some sort of triggering system around this blade. Now in the past we've always used our good old box colliders, but I don't want to apply a box collider to this because it's not going to fit the blade. It's going to be over here, and like he could walk and the blade won't visually hit him, but this trigger would, and it would trigger and people would be like, what the heck, I didn't even touch the thing. So we want to make sure that our gameplay is very accurate to this blade, and it's not cheating out anyone and making anyone frustrated. So let's go to Physics 2D, and this one we're going to go and create a Polygon Collider 2D, and it's basically just going to trace this object. You can see we're getting really in here, and we have all these points created, and it does a nice job. It's pretty much the surface, or sorry, the edge of this blade. But when we look at this, we don't want this part to collide with him, and this part should be okay. I'm going to cut it off around here. So the difference between this is obviously it takes up more memory because we have more points and more shape to this collider. It's not just 4 vertices on this box, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can see all the edges there. So let's go ahead and clean this up a little bit and we can reshape this. So if you go here, I'm just going to set this to a trigger and let's go Edit Collider. I'm going to click on that, and now we can select these points. Simple as this. And then if you hold Command on your Mac and you click this, you can delete it. And I'm going to delete these guys up here. And now we go down and it shrinks it down. So look at this. I'll hold Command, click, delete, delete. I just want to clean this up as much as possible, remove as many vertices as I can, but still keep the shape of this axe. You can click and drag this and reshape it too, which is pretty neat. So I don't need, like, this is okay. I can drag this, that. Let's see if I can get away with just that. Just trying to clean it up as much as I can here. Click. Go around, look at all these empty ones. I click on the edge too. There we go. So I'm going to keep this very simple, but I just want it to wrap around this thing pretty accurately, but it doesn't have to be to a T here. So save in memory here. Alrighty. Getting rid of a few of these guys. And let's see what happens if I drag this up like so. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this. This is all well and good here. Alright, so there is our blade collider. Anytime this collides with our character, you can always click and drag a new point too. Then it's going to hurt him. I was going to set that there. Perfect, alright. Oh, look at this. I want a little bit more here. And just one more. Okay, I'll add one more. Now I'm getting carried away. I'm going to stop. So that's all good. That's done. Now our collider is all set up for our axe. And our axe is ready to destroy. So now let's get this character all set up to be destroyed by this thing. Just going to clean up my hierarchy there. And let's carry on. So I'm going to look at my character and what needs to happen next. So we're going to go down and we're going to create one more script here. And we're going to create this script specifically for our player's health. So let's go player health system. Now, you might be a little bit confused. Like we had in our player state script here, we had player health right there, right? But this script specifically is going to be for controlling our player health system. I want that to be separated on its own script just because I want it to be clean and easy for you guys to see it. Let's just go and let's apply this to our sprite player. And I'm going to apply this to our sprite player because I want to control the animation as well when we get hit by the axe. And this is just going to make it easier to having to cross-reference this animator. There we go. And also, we can have it separated from our movement as well. Anyways, let's open up this player health script here. And now, what do we need to do? We need to say, when that axe hits us, subtract 1 from our health. So first off, I'm going to create a variable, private, and I'm going to say player state. Player state, I want to access that health variable that we created there. Player state, I'm just going to say, name it now, player state. Okay, and now let's go and set this to awake. And let's do our good old long line of code here. So now we have access to our player state script, giving us access to that public health variable that we created. So now we just need to go ahead and make it so when we detect that that axe actually hits us, then we are going to subtract 1 from our health. Now, another reason I applied that script to this sprite object here is because on our character, we're going to be using the onTriggerEnter function whenever this axe enters our character's trigger. But if you look at our character here, our movement character, we have 2 colliders that are, both of these will act when the axe hits them as a trigger. So every time this axe hits him, if it hits both of these at the same time, it's going to subtract 2 from our health only when it collides with us once. So I don't want that. I want it to be only 1. I don't want players to be, how come I'm dying so fast? We need to go to our sprite character and let's add 1 more. Let's go 2D box, collider 2D. And this is going to be a trigger, of course, and we're going to set its size down to fit our character. So whenever this thing hits our character in this range, then we will lose 1 from our health. So if you want to be really cheap, you can just scale it way down, but that would be easy mode. We don't want that. We want it to be the same for everyone. So this is looking pretty good. If he gets hit in here, awesome. So there he is. There's his health collider. So before we continued on with our script, I just wanted to take care of that. Let's create our onTriggerEnter here. So we'll go void onTriggerEnter 2D and create our collider 2D variable titled other. Pass that variable on down here in an if statement. Let's just do our brackets to house this thing in. Let's go if our collider that hits this trigger is other.gameObject, any game object that has the tag equal to enemy. So if, in this if statement, I'm going to create my own housing for the statements in here, and I'm going to say player properties. We want to access that script, right? Or sorry, not player properties, player state, and access that script, that variable we created to hold it, and then let's go player state dot. Now we need to see which variable. Here's all our variables we created, but we want to get access to player health, so we can see that we actually know it's connected properly, right? We can see the variable we want, player health. Now what do we want to do? Subtract 1 from it. So let's just go minus minus, and we'll end that statement with a semicolon. Now, I've never told you this before, but you might know it, you might not. Anytime you want to subtract 1 from the current value of any variable, all you need to do is say minus minus. If you wanted to add 1 to it, you just go plus plus. We can make our health go upwards, but we need to go down here. So minus minus. What that's going to do, take our player health, read whatever amount it's at, and then subtract 1 from it. Cool. So that's all we needed to do there. I'm going to save this. Let's go back to Unity now, and let's watch what happens. So we're going to go down, we're going to watch this variable. Player health is at 3. Let's go here. 2, 1, 0. Now he's dead. Minus 1, minus 2. Good. We know it's working. We can see it's working down in there. Perfect. All right, so let's carry on with this system. We're pretty much done with the base of it. We just need to think a little bit more on the logic now, and this won't take too long. So let's wrap this thing up here. All right, so what we want to do first off here is we're going to create a few simple if statements. What I want to do is when our player health is set to 1, I want to set our player state to critical is true. All right, and then I also want to say when our health is at 0, then game over, we're dead. And then I also want to say this logic currently isn't quite right because we could have walked into that axe when it's not moving in safe mode and it would still subtract. I want to say if this is in danger mode and it's the axe that hits us, then take away our health. So we need to set that up. And then as a quick bonus, we're going to just beast through this stuff here. I want to show you how we can trigger our animation on this guy to show that he's hurt when he gets hit. So let's quickly go into our update function, create our if statements for when our health is at a certain state, then trigger something here for us. So let's go if, we're going to call upon our player state dot health, player health is equal to, let's go 1. Okay, if our player health is equal to 1, and I'm just going to copy and paste this mainframe here. And paste it down here. And I'm going to say if our player health is set to 0. Okay, player health is set to 1. What do we want to do? We want to say player state, accessing that script, dot our player health is critical equals true. That'll set that boolean true. And now let's go down here, copy and paste, is dead this time. Is dead is equal to true. All right, simple as that. So let's quickly, reason why I put it in update, of course, is I was always going to be checking to reference and make sure these are true or false, these if statements here. So let's go if health is low, set state to critical. All right, let's do a comment here. Player health is at 0. Set state to dead. Okay, so we have that set up now. And now, what else do we need to do here? We need to get access to our game state script here. So let's go private game state and go game state, just like so. And now let's call upon this. So now let's go comment, access our game state script for our axe hit logic. All right. Okay, and I'm just gonna actually replace this and say assigning our script variables. There we go. Multitasking, one comment there. So now we need to just update our if statement logic here. If our axe hits our player and game state dot danger mode is true, leave that as is, then we'll take away our health. That's perfect. So we have all this stuff set up. Let's quickly go ahead and access our animator. This is all kind of review here, but let's just say access our animator object for WrapTuck to set ouch animation. So what this is going to do, we're going to access our animator, and then we're going to set it so whenever the axe hits us, it's going to change his animation state to showing that he's been hurt, and then when the trigger exits our character, it'll set it back to default. So let's do that right away. So let's go private animator. Let's go anim, accessing the local animator. So let's go like this. Let's go comment and say assigning our animator. Done deal. So now let's go to our trigger enter. Now we have it subtracting 1 from our player health so far. And now we're going to say trigger ouch animation. So we're going to go anim dot set bool, because we had, let's just check his condition. I actually forget how we set this up here. So let's click on our sprite player, unexpected symbol. I have an error here. I'll deal with that in a second. Let's go animator. Where is our hurt? Right here. So now we need to quickly set up our duck grounded speed. I don't have that parameter yet. Let's set up a bool, and let's just say, I'm going to say ouch. Ouch. You guys can name it whatever you want, as long as you know what it does, right? So let's go make transition from walking and make transition out. And what if our character's jumping? I want to transition for that too. What if he's ducking? I want to transition for that too. So basically we need to say, where can we transition to a hurt if the condition is correct? So let's go ouch. If it's true, transition to it. And let's set ouch. If it's false, transition back. So now what if we're ducking and the axe hits us? We want to have a transition for that too, right? So let's go here, make a transition. And what if our character's jumping and the axe hits us? Well, we're going to want something for that too. So let's move this way over here. Okay, jump, transition, make transition. So now we just need to quickly set these up here. Condition, ouch, and condition, ouch, false, and true. And from our duck, we need to set this transition up too. Ouch, true, and ouch, false. All right, save this, and let's go over back to our script and fix this stuff off here. Oh, I see. That wasn't even an error. It was just because I had an incomplete sentence here. So let's go set bool. Let's set our ouch to true. Trigger ouch animation. Perfect. So that's going to trigger our animation to be played whenever this thing collides with us. So now we just need to quickly do one thing here. Because when the axe hits us, it's going to set our animation state. But we need to also have an on-trigger exit. So when the axe leaves our character, then it's going to set it back to false so we can have our regular animation, right? So let's quickly, I'm just going to go and say, when axe hits our player, okay? And I'm going to go down here, create one more, just copy and paste that on-trigger enter, and just change it to an on-trigger exit. Exit, collider, game object, that's all good. And we don't want to subtract any health again when it exits. That would be bad. Logic. And let's go trigger ouch animation off. Let's set it to false again, so we can go back to whatever state we were in. So anim, trigger ouch animation on. Okay. And now I'm going to quickly comment this. Say, when axe leaves our character, turn animation off of ouch. All right, we have quite a script here going on now. Lots of things happening. So we've saved this. Let's close it out and let's do some testing here. These all should go away. Yep, perfect. Okay. Sometimes it takes a minute to update, but now let's check. What have we done here? I want to show you WrapTuck character, all our player states here. Player health is at 3. All right, look at this. So now I'm not in danger mode. It's not affecting me anymore. Let's go back. Let's trigger danger mode on. And now let's see, our health is at 3. When I go down, I get hit. I get hit again, I'm at 1. Now you see our health is at critical. When it goes down to 0, oh yeah, also look at that animation's playing nicely whenever it accesses us. Cool. All right. And now we should be dead as our health is at 0. Cool stuff. All right, so that's all working out perfectly now. So I'm going to wrap this lesson up. I'm going to stop playback. We have fully set up our player's health system. In the next lesson, we're going to move on and finish off this module by setting up one more thing. Now, we need to have it so when we walk directly in front of this vase, it's going to change our player state to can collect dagger. And we're going to use that in our logic to actually pick up the item in the next module and throw that dagger. So this is going to be an awesome way to finish this module off. So I look forward to seeing you all in the next lesson, and let's get WrapTuck all ready to collect some items. Alrighty, I'll see you there.